Hello everybody. So sorry for the delay. Some days are just really a Monday and some days are a little easier. Today, right outside this window, I had maintenance people working on the underground, I guess it's not our sewer line, but our water drains. And it was making this whole room shake. And this these set of glass cabinets over here, I was really worried about them. So there was no way I could go live on time. I am really sorry, and I hope I haven't thrown off anybody's schedule. Thank you for joining me today. I am Tia Woodward, and I am Stamp with Tia. I am an independent demonstrator representing Stampin' Up products, and crafting brings my heart so much joy. It relieves stress. My love language is to give gifts, and so this allows me to make things and give to other people. And that's actually what I'm going to show you today. I'm going to show you 3 really cute, very simple projects that will allow you to maybe even help your children make some gifts for maybe teachers or their friends. They're very simple, they're inexpensive, and I can't wait to show them to you. Really quick, before I turn the camera down to show you our projects, I just need to make make sure everybody's aware that the July through December mini catalog, the holiday catalog, is only live for a few more weeks. It ends at the end of December. And then, so as a result of that, we have a discontinued list, or a what they call a last chance list, that is on my online store. You can find that when you get to my online store and you look at the menu. There is a tab for sales and promotions. And if you look at that, it'll show you the last chance sale that's taking place right now. It'll also show you the clearance rack. And the clearance rack was also, so there are 2 different lists. The clearance rack is stuff that was retired and discontinued previously. And that was refreshed last week. The last chance list is still in this catalog that's still live, but we're down to while supplies last. So some of the items are actually discounted and some of them are not. And if something's not available, it will tell you that right on the screen. So you'll know that you won't go into a back order status or anything like that. So that's the mini catalog that's current right now. Then we have the mini catalog that starts in January. And see all these little tabs? These are what I'm planning to show all of you. And that is live January through June. And it's absolutely beautiful. Since I started Stampin' Up in August of 2019, in my personal opinion, besides this last annual catalog that came out, which is stunning and has wonderful products in it, this new mini catalog really has my heart. Partly because there's some tulips and there's some daffodils, and those kind of things are very special to me because that's what we used in our wedding. But there's many things in here that I didn't know I would be interested in until I saw them in this catalog. I can't show you the inside of the catalog. I can show you the outside of the catalog. If you don't have a demonstrator and you need somebody, or you want one of these catalogs, please leave me a message, or please send me a personal message with your address so that I can send one of these to you. I'm placing my order for these catalogs to send to all of my current customers and anybody that would like to be a new customer. The first 2 months of this new catalog, we have an additional promotion that will be taking place, and it's called Sale-a-bration. And if you're not familiar with, see if I can get the lighting right on this. If you're not familiar with Sale-a-bration, what that is there's an additional little book here that's full of products that you get for free with qualifying purchases out of this catalog, or out of the annual catalog as well. Everything that's current at that time If you have a $50 purchase, there's things that you get in here for free, or if you have a $100 purchase, there's things in here you get for free. So it's a really, really great deal. Want to make sure that everybody's aware. I have some spots open on my calendar, and I am looking to book some parties, especially during celebration, but I'm always looking to book parties. I would love to put together a crafting event for you and your friends. I actually love doing that. It's a lot of fun to me. I live in the Portland, Vancouver greater area. So if you're in that area, we can do something in person. If you're not in that area, I'm actually quite skilled at pulling off an online party as well, where we can all craft together. We send out kits. Anyway, you let me know if you're interested in a party. We will work something out and we will have some fun. All right, with all of that said, I'm going to put all of that out of the way, and I think it is time for me to turn my phone down so that you can see the projects that we're going to make today. All right. And we're being careful here to not lose my orientation, because we did that a few weeks ago and that was a disaster. Well, it felt like a disaster to me. Everybody else said it wasn't a disaster, but all right. This is the host code for November. Yes, I will eventually get that typed up and printed out, but I haven't yet, so there we are. Hi, Carol. So these are the 3 little projects we're going to make today. This little box holds 5 Hershey's Kisses. I've got the Peppermint Kisses, which is why I'm using a tag that says sending you peppermint kisses. So I'm going to make this little box. I'm going to show you, this is holding a hot cocoa packet with a candy cane, and it just says, "You warm my heart." And how appropriate is that? Again, these are simple, little, easy projects for you to make to give to maybe neighborhood kids. I've got some neighbor kids that I'll be giving some of this stuff to. This is the same bag, and I'm going to show you how to turn it into a pleated bag so that it'll hold something more dimensional. All right, so that's what we're making today. So I think we are going to start with You Warm My Heart. Let's just get this going on. Now, originally, I was going to print the front of this bag with this knit together stamp set and then have this tag on here that said "You Warm My Heart." But I went on, for all these products that I'm using today, I've double checked to make sure what's available. This is no longer available, so I was really bummed. I really thought this would be so cute to make a sweater print on the front of this and this say, "You Warm My Heart." So if you already have this, I suggest that. It's just a one-color print. You do tone on tone, you print it right on, and then you put the rest of this package together. You could also do that with any other stamps. If you had like tonal snowflakes you wanted to print on here, or like a snowman, anything that you wanted to, you could print on. Maybe I'll just go ahead and do that. Let me grab, when I checked earlier, this was still available. So I think on this project, I'm just going to go ahead and show you. I'm just going to go ahead and stamp some snowflakes on there. So for this particular project, I'm using the Stampin' Up Ombre Gift Bags. These come with 5 colors. They're the 5 in colors that were presented this year. We've got Evening Evergreen. This one is Soft Succulent. I'm out of all the other colors, but there was Fresh Freesia, Pale Papaya, and Polished Pink. So for this, I am using the Evening Evergreen. This is so simple, you guys. I mean, like, again, I said you could do this with your children. Now, I did want to show you, there's a couple of, I like to give the Land O'Lakes, but my husband likes to drink this. I wanted to show you that both fit in here. Whichever one you like fits in here just fine. I'm not going to fold this because I'm going to stamp, but this does fold over. There is room. There's about, it folds over right about here. Or you can put in the smaller hot cocoa. What an easy gift for your kids to give to a teacher or their friends, and quite inexpensive. I think we bought the Nestle hot cocoa here in the Portland area in the United States for, I'm trying to remember how much we paid. I think it was under $3. And I believe there were 10 packs in there. All right. Now, I'm doing this on the fly because that's not how I originally prepared this project, but I wanted to show you, and I can show you, it looks great plain, but you can doll it up a little bit too. So I already blocked all my stamps, there we go, but not because I'm doing this one on the fly. I had not done that one. This is not my favorite stamp. I'm going to use one of these other ones. Come on. There we go. So this is the front of the bag, and I'm just going to do some tonal snowflakes. That's actually really pretty. Now I wish I would have done my original bag that way. Because I've already got adhesive, I don't think that'll work. What do you think? Do you like this? I hope you do. I know I do. All right. We have a pre-stamped bag. So I am going to close this up. And if you so desired, you could do both. Actually, it wouldn't hurt anything. These projects are so quick, I don't feel bad about spending the extra time to go ahead and do this. Oh, actually, am I making a mistake here? No. I'm going to flip this over because I know that I stamped over the edges. I do have a second Stampin' piercing mat here, and I did discover that I can clean these fairly easily. All right, now let's start filling this in. Yeah, those I called the office, the management office here where I live, to find out what in the world was going on with those workers. And evidently they didn't have much advance notice either, and they were here from the city. That's actually pretty cute, isn't it? That's going to be really cute. And let's see, shall I go ahead and stamp that? I know I'm folding that over. I'm going to go ahead and stamp like that. Like that. There. How sweet is that? Super simple. Your children can do this. You can do this. And you saw how fast I just did it. Just stuck my thumb in my ink. So I'm going to go ahead and wipe that off. And I'm going to remove this and grab the other one that hasn't been stamped on. There we go. All right. Now we're going to just go ahead and stamp our label. Again, you know, we're just getting down to kind of crunch time with Christmas, and people that have their children going back to school and maybe still working from home and maybe having to work a hybrid situation, you might just need a little bit of help to get something done real easy and quick for your kids as they get ready to go on holiday. Winter holiday. I can't remember what the schools are calling it now. Oh, bummer. The edge of my stamp, I must have rocked a little bit and didn't realize it, so I'm just going to flip this over. Thankfully there's two sides, and I'm going to be a little bit more careful about placing this time. There we go. Now I can close up that ink. So I was using the You Warm My Heart from the Encircled in Warmth. This is on the Last Chance list. Ooh, I see my sweetheart is watching. Hello, sweetie. So there is the You Warm My Heart. And we are going to mount this. And this scallop just gives barely a little bit of an edge. This is the biggest size of the layering circling dies. So these are the layering circling dies. It looks like I must have one over on my work table. These are the layering circling dies. I use these a lot. This is the biggest one of these. This is the biggest one of these. So if I wanted to go a little bit bigger, I couldn't. All right, I'm going to use my, and you see I had a little stamp accident on the other side, which is why I moved, but no one, or I flipped it, but nobody's ever going to see it. There we go. We have really nasty weather here today, and my sweetheart is out working in it. And I'm using that multi-purpose glue. It gives me a little bit of scooch room so that I can make sure my scallop is even all the way around. And it is. All right. So now we're going to take this bag that we stamped, and we are going to adhere. I'm going to use tear and tape to adhere a candy cane that I don't see. Here it is. To the front of the bag. And we're going to use the top of the candy cane to hold the flap shut. So setting my messy stamps aside so that I don't put my hand in them. Closing up my Merry Snowflakes because I believe I'm done with it. Tear and tape, there it is. And this tear and tape is got good strength. You see, got really good strength. So I made the mistake on this one. I got my tear and tape too high. I wanted to make sure that my tear and tape was high enough that I could balance out the weight of the top of this. Because this has got a plastic coating on it, there is a possibility that this, I mean, you can see I am shaking this and nothing's coming undone. So if a child was transporting these to school, nothing's coming undone. But I like the idea of this just being a flap that tucks under here and isn't necessarily glued down. So I want to make sure that my weight is balanced on my candy cane, so I want some of my adhesive up here across from the staff, top of the staff. So I'm placing my tear and tape about like that. And I'm going to give it a good rub. There we go. Take off so I'm going to practice my little fold over here. Not practice, but I'm going to actually fold it over. I think I got that straight, pretty straight. All right. I don't feel like that was straight enough. Well, according to the sides, it's straight. All right, so now that I know where that's at, and I know where my glue is at here, I can have the top of that candy cane just barely hold that flap down, angle my candy cane attractively. So I've got about equal distance between the candy cane here and the candy cane here, top and bottom. All right. Now, to adhere this to the top of the candy cane, I use dimensionals. So I just put dimensionals across here, put this on, and as you can see, like I said, everything seems to be holding on pretty good. So if a child had these in a backpack and needed to take them to school, I don't think you're going to have a problem. So I'm going to grab some dimensionals and kind of eyeball where I want this to be. So I want this to be, yeah, kind of like this. Kind of like this. So my first one will be here and here and here. So I'm putting 3. All of the instructions for this will be on my blog, and I will post my blog link here on Facebook. And then this will eventually make its way, probably, maybe not today, maybe today, will make its way over to Pinterest. All right, so there is that part of the project, and you can see we can open that up and put in our hot cocoa packet, and this folds under like such. And we still need a bow. I looked at this without a bow earlier and I didn't like it at all. So we're gonna put a bow, and you can either put the bow here or you can put the bow here. I'm going to pull out my handy dandy, and there it is. And my ribbon, which I thought I put right there. Huh. Where did my ribbon go? So I'm using the Evening Evergreen Open Weave ribbon. I'm looking to see, oh, here it is. All right. Is everybody all decorated for the holidays? Do you like to decorate for the holidays? My husband and I do. A lot. He even enhanced our outdoor lights yesterday with one of my favorite bushes now has Italian blue lights on it, which are absolutely stunning. So my friend Ron in Kennewick made this on a 3D printer for me, and I don't know what I would do without it. I love this thing so much. Love it, love it, love it. Okay, now I'm going to use I'm going to use a mini glue dot. So I'm just going to press the back of my bow right on there. And I'm putting the bow on the candy cane itself. Then I'm going to trim my ends. And our first project is done. Now, if you were doing this for a whole bunch of people, this would go even faster, because you would just kind of do a production line. You would stamp all your bags, and you would stamp all your labels, and you would adhere all your labels, and you would put your tear and tape on the back of your candy cane. Get a drink of water. And it would be really, really, really quick. How cute is that? Right? You warm my heart with a hot cocoa packet and and a candy cane. All right, setting that off to one side. And we will move on to project number 2. Now, are you ready for this? We're going to take this same flat bag and we're going to turn it into a little dimensional bag that you can put treats in. And look at what I've done. I've put little peppermint, soft peppermints, individually wrapped in here for a gift. Is that cute? Let's do that. I'm going to move this piercing mat aside, bring up my score tool. Again, this is my host code for December. I will get that printed out. I know that looks a little janky like that. Okay, do I have I'm going to have to move my camera up a little bit so that you can see my whole score tool and straighten this a little bit. How we doing? I think we're pretty straight. All right. So I need to find that second bag. There it is. So I'm going to score. Careful to score. I'm going to move my cutting tool out of the way and then pull forward my scoring tool. I am going to score at 3/4 of an inch on both sides. So score, and I'll just flip it over and score. So you see here, I've got this side measures up to 1.5 inches on this cut on this paper trimmer, and then the other side measures up to 12 inches going the other direction. This arm folds out. So for very small dimensions, I go ahead and I use this side, but for the larger I use the other side. So for 3/4 of an inch again, I love this paper trimmer. It's way, way better than the one I had before. Okay, we are done with that. Now, I have slightly bigger hands for a woman. I'm a fairly tall person. So if you have smaller hands, this is going to probably be easier for you. It was a little bit difficult for me, just because my hands are so big. So I'm going to come down here and try to find an even spot. This is going to fold to the inside, and this is going to, oh, how bizarre, I can hear something ringing. There must be a worker right outside that window. They must not be completely gone yet, because I can hear somebody's phone ringing, which is really unnerving when you're at home by yourself. Okay, so take and you create this little fold, which I am getting done. Sorry, I should have opened up the other side too. There we go. And again, these are the same ombre bags as I used in the last project. And I'm almost there. I know it looks like I'm making a mess, but I'm really not. I haven't hurt a thing. Come on, there we go. There we go. And make sure this one is even on this side. There we go. Now I can use a mini glue dot to, boy, this just doesn't want to fold for me. There we go. Now a mini glue dot will go on the bottom. Just like, I'm going to dump those out, but see the tabs on the bottom? That's what I'm doing right now. And I am just being a little bit klutzy. I feel like when I turned around and looked to see who was on the phone, or what I was hearing, I should have put down what I was working on. So mini glue dot, putting hand in to close it, like that. Then doing the same thing on the other side. Goodness gracious. Goodness gracious, this was much easier in my practice. This one is just wanting to fold prematurely. This actually looks like it wasn't. I'm going to try this again. I have this other bag over here. Let's just give this another shot. Let's give this another shot. 3/4 of an inch. Oops, move that cutting tool. There we go. 3/4 of an inch. Like I said earlier, some days you're just more of a Monday than others, huh? Kind of feel like I need to score that bottom too, but I didn't on that. So turn that pleat to the inside. And you know, I have a thought, and I'm just going to go ahead and give it a try. I hope I'm not making a mistake. No, I'm not going to do it. Not going to do it. We've all been here, right? Wanted to show you that you can make a little candy bag or a little treat bag. Man, I'm going to need a cup of hot cocoa after this. There we go. I didn't realize how hard this was going to be to show on a video. So it's going to fold like this, but it's going to sit more clean like that. Except this point needs to be down here. Goodness gracious, I am not getting this right at all. I had an inclination to score again at 3/4, and I'm going to go ahead and try it because at this point I've already futzed around so much. I'm not going to hurt anything. There we go. That made the difference. Woohoo! Okay. And the original instructions that I saw said to use mini glue dots, but I'm not liking how that's sitting, so I'm going to grab my stamp and seal, move this score tool, actually, and I'm going to go ahead and score. Nope, I already started gluing that one. Well, I hope this is entertaining to everybody. To you, like I started off. This has been a little bit of an unusual day with my whole apartment shaking. Yes, Sandra. Hello, Sandra. Oh my gosh, so good to see you. I mean, I'm not seeing you, but I'm hearing you or reading you, and that makes me really happy. There we go. There. That's what I was missing, was scoring the bottom from the beginning. So now go ahead and fold. I don't think I've pressed my adhesive in good. There we go. Press my adhesive. There we go. Now we're good. Goodness, sorry everybody. All right. So now, have I redeemed myself yet? So now, you can, let's see, before we put our goodies in, let's fold our top down about 3/4 of an inch. And let's stamp our label. I'm using Cherry Cobbler. There it is. And because I intend to put these peppermint candies or peppermint kisses in here, I'm going to stamp this with a saying that's from the Frosted Gingerbread. This is also on the discontinued list. I'm going to use this one here that says sending you peppermint kisses. And I've already pre-mounted it. Whew. My next project's a lot easier than trying to fold that bag with my big hands. But I really wanted you to see the benefit of these gift bags. There we go. Sending you peppermint kisses. And actually, before I There are some stamps in here that have little candies, little peppermint looking candies. It would be pretty easy to add those. Here's some little dinky ones. I think I'll use those. I think I'm doing this on the fly. Everything's on the fly today. You can blame the workers that we had today outside of my apartment window. They're outside of my studio window. I'm gonna go ahead and set those up there. And I'm gonna add these down here. There, that's cute. I could actually just really enhance that. Just go all the way around. How cute is that? And easy. There. Sending you peppermint kisses with little peppermints. Can you see that? Little peppermints all around. Close this up. I'm actually going to use the same saying, sending you peppermint kisses, on the next project because it's got the literal Hershey's Kisses in there. Since I have my adhesive out, I'm just going to go ahead and use it. Oh, darn. It's because I had ink over on here that I've got ink on here. I don't have another one of these cut, and I don't have any paper near me. So I'm going to go ahead and, oh, I don't want to. I will correct this for the picture afterwards, but I'm going to go ahead and use that for now. And then I'm going to banner cut the bottom of this strip. All dimensions will be on will be posted later today, and instructions. This is going to be put on dimensionals, right? Really disappointed that happened. But today has just been kind of that kind of day. That's all right. Afterwards I can show you the first one. So that is set up on dimensionals. Then I'm just going to adhere this to this top, and I'm going to align this top edge here like this, so this closes like this. Man, this poor bag got really roughed up by me having a problem. All right, so I'm gonna just put a little bit of adhesive at the top here. There we go. So there it is, and then you put your goodies, your peppermint candies. I buy these. These were quite inexpensive too. I think these were under $5 for a big tub of them. 110 pieces in here. That makes for a real inexpensive little gift to give to classmates or friends or neighbors, etc. So I'm going to set that aside. We've now got our second one of those done. Next is this little box. This little box holds 5 of these Hershey's Kisses. And this is a fairly quick box. The dimensions, I'm just cutting a piece of designer series paper. It's already cut, it's right here. This designer series paper is 6 3/4. Move move some of these other things out of the way in that poor bag that I annihilated. Getting out my scoring tool. Let's make sure I'm in the set these over here. Make sure I'm in frame. Okay. So this is really super, super easy. We are going to, on the long side, make sure I'm correct here. I am. We're going to score at, okay, move that cutting tool out of the way. It's going to score at 1 inch. At 2 inch. Why do I feel like this is wrong? At 3 inch, because it is. Let me grab another piece of paper. I was scoring on the in the wrong direction. So I'm gonna have to grab a different type of paper here for this one. So I needed 5 by 6 3/4. By 6 3/4. Cutting tool. Now here we go. We're turning it this way and we're scoring. First score is at 1 inch. This is what crafting is like, right? Not everything goes according to plan every single time, but there's usually a way to fix it. So for instance, this one that I scored in the wrong direction, I could technically still turn this into a Hershey's Kiss holder, but would probably hold 3 instead of 5. So, score at 3, and then at 4. All right, then we're going to score, I'm using this dimension right here. I'm going to score at 1 inch. And the other end, I'm scoring at 5 3/4. Turning that around, excuse me. I'll just go ahead and, it's 1 inch on each side. Why can't I see my shadow? Here we go. All right. There we go. So now we have, this is scored, and this might be a little bit more difficult to see because I picked a striped paper, but that's what was on top. So we've got these lines, and then we've got all these score lines. So I'm going to do some trimming at these side score lines. Not my cleanest video, I apologize everybody. But again, it's real life, isn't it? So I'm cutting right on the score line, right up to this 1 inch score line. And doing that at every score. I'm not going beyond that score line, I'm going right up to it. You see all my trims? Doing that here. This is actually such an easy project if you score on the correct side of the paper, like I didn't do the first time, but I did this time. I don't feel like that one. That's all right. I'll go back and fix. All right, so now I'm going to decide which end is going to be the flap. I'm going to make this side be the flap. So I'm cutting off these first 2 tabs. The second tab I'm shortening, because this is the tab that's going to fold in on the sides. And it was, I don't know, 3/8 of an inch, so I'm just going to eyeball it. All right. This is going to be, let's see, make sure I'm correct here. I am. This is our base. This one, I'm going to keep the ends nice and squared off. Or I'm trying to. I see that I was a little bit crooked, so I'm just trying to fix it. These, I'm going to bevel the edges, like such. And they don't have to be dramatic. They just need to be enough that nothing shows in the overlap when it folds. I'm going to do the same thing over here. This is my base. So these 2 I'm going to bevel. This paper is from the Heartwarming, let's see, is this Heartwarming Hugs? I believe that's the name of the paper. I don't like my bevel. I'm going to fix that. Come on. And this paper is discontinued. It is on the last chance list. This is the same paper. This is from the same collection. The other side's really cute. Both sides are super cute. All right, the corners, the edges are all now, that should be good enough. Edges are all now beveled. Wait till you see, so that's all that we cut off. All these little pieces, that's it. It wasn't a big deal. It wasn't that hard to do. So now I'm going to use my Stampin' Seal Plus. And I'm going to pull out a silicone mat because I always use that to get my adhesive started. And I'm going to put adhesive on, I'm not going to put adhesive on this row, but I am going to put adhesive on this one. Oh, that might be because I'm on an uneven surface. This is a textured surface. I'm going to go ahead and pull that off. That's going to hide. No one's going to see it when I adhere it to the inside, but it's unfortunate it happened. There we go. A true Monday. Okay. I should have beveled. I'm going to do it after the box is assembled, now that I've got all that adhesive that I'm working with. So I'm creasing and creasing, and I'm going to line up that bottom, the one that wraps from the bottom up the side. I'm going to do the same thing over here, lining up this edge, just like that. So we're creating that. There's the front of our box. Then this flap that we already put adhesive on. Ooh, that first one's a little long. Maybe I should trim that before I stick that down. So I must not have hit the inch mark exactly. And I don't want that to show when my box is all folded. there we go. I got it. So now I can match up that back edge like such. This one did not extend beyond, so that's good. I'm going to line up that back edge. So now we have the base of our box. Here's the top. These are going to fold in. These side ones fold in. And the top can either flap to the front or it can sit on the inside. But what we're going to do first is we are going to do a little bevel on these side flaps, because they just go in a little easier if you have the bevel. All right. So there are those, just like this and like this. And then I'm going to do just a slight bevel. If you had a corner rounder punch, you could easily do that to the front of this as well. Oh, I did more dramatic on the other side. There we go. All right. This box is ready for treats. First I'll show you. So you can either fold it like this, because we're going to put a ribbon around it to close it, or you can put all of the flaps, come on, all of the flaps in. So currently, the first one that I made, all of the flaps are in. Let's go ahead and put our candy in here. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 peppermint kisses. And I don't know. Either way it'd be cute. I'm going to go ahead and stick the flap in. Oh, I see. There we go. All right. So that's in. Now we're ready to make this little label that's going to be tied on the outside. Okay, so originally I had this stripe, and I don't really want to use it with that stripe, so let me cut another piece. I can cut either the corresponding or that. And what it is it's on the back side of the tag. I like to make a little heavier tag, and so I'm just going to show you this double layer tag. Actually, that could be cute on the back side, and it's already cut to the right length, or right width, but it is too long. I can cut this down to probably I'm going to cut this down to 2 1/8 inches. And I'm only doing that because I remember that that's what I did for that. I think this would be cute as the back side for that, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. This is going to be 2 1/8 inches, and I know I'm off the screen. You're going to have to trust me. That's what I'm doing. All right, so there's my 2 pieces. I am going to use the Lovely, I believe this is the Lovely Label Punch. And because I've cut these pieces so short, now I don't have control of them when I put them in. So I'm going to use a Post-it note that I've torn in half. I've just made it more narrow. And I'm using the sticky to hold on to the back side of the label and feeding it in. And when I get it back here, then I'm looking to make sure that I'm centered. And the reason this is a little bit more important, that I'm getting it just right, is because I'm actually putting another piece on the other side and I need them to line up. So I can see this side's a little skinnier, this side's a little wider, so I'm grabbing this Post-it note and adjusting things until they look fairly even. Giving that a punch. Going to use my Post-it note to pull out my paper, and I'm going to do the same thing with this. There we go. And again, I'm going to move this around until my paper is centered. There we go. It's pretty centered. Giving that a punch. Pulling that out. All right. Excuse me. So this is the side that we really think looks good with this, a nice little coordinating print. So this is going to get glued like this. This is going to be adhered together just like this. But first I'm going to stamp Sending You Peppermint Kisses, because that's literally what we have in there, is the Hershey's Kisses, the Peppermint Christmas Kisses. And I'm just going to center that like that. Close up my ink. Now, like I said, this is my extra step that I like to put a cute back on. It's certainly not necessary for if you wanted to make this super easy. I'm going to put just a little bit more adhesive on here because I didn't go out to the edges. There we go. All right, I'm going to line up my hole in my top, just like such. All right, how cute is that? Now we're going to grab a piece of this breaks my heart. This is also on the last chance list. This is the open weave, or the sheer ribbon in Real Red. Ugh. All my favorites. All my favorites are being discontinued. That's okay. I guess I will come up with some new favorites, right? So I'm gonna, this one has to be hand tied. I don't get to use my bow maker. That's okay. I used to make bows for a living when I was a wedding coordinator for many years before I went to work in the corporate field. All right, going to string my, yep, today's one of those days. String my label on like such. And in order to make sure that my bow and my label are going the same direction, I need to start my bow with the ribbon that I've just put through the tag. So I'm going to loop, come around, push a loop through the back, and now my tag is right at the front of my ribbon, of my bow, just like such. I hope that tip is helpful to somebody. Move this ribbon out of the way. Give this a nice little trim. You can make these short tails or long tails, it doesn't matter. Whatever you desire. And now, my friends, I have just shown you 3 different little treat packages that you can make for little gifts for the, like I said, neighbors, carolers. If you are expecting any carolers, this might be nice to have on hand for something like that. Teachers, nurses, doctors, anybody that you, I'm not going to bring the other one over here because I messed up the print on it, but I hope this is helpful to you. I hope this makes you look at the stash that you have on hand and realize that you can do something plain, or you can maybe elevate it by stamping on it. You can turn something that's flat like this into more of a 3D to hold some bulky. These peppermint puffs, I think they're called, they also fit in here, but I think you can get 4 of them in these little boxes as well. So I hope that this was a fun little demonstration. I know it's completely different than what I normally do. I normally do cards, but it's that time of the year where something like this might be helpful to somebody. So I wanted to do that. Next week, I intend to show you 2 different gift card holders. So similar to these that I have done in the past, I will show you those. So, and it might be 2 different styles, not the same style, but a gift card holder that is a card. So something, again, that's easy to do when we're getting this close to Christmas and we need we don't want to just hand over a card or have it loose sitting in a card. We want to do something that makes it look like they're opening a whole gift. So that's what we're going to do next week. Thank you, friends, for joining me. So sorry for the delay due to the maintenance outside, and really glad that my glass cabinets are still intact after all of that chaos. And again, I appreciate all of you so very, very much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. My heart goes out to all of you. Still, please be safe and know that I love you. Big hugs.